Hello, it's Dr. Mears, and today we are going to be working on some word problems to review in intermediate algebra. To receive full credit, you must make sure that you include the following: identify variables, set up equations, include units, and no trial and error. Number one, a woodworker is making the bottom of a rectangular jewelry box with an area of 36 square inches. The length of the box is 5 inches more than its width. Find the length and width of the box. So I did one read through. Let's do another read through and underline some of the important information and start writing things down. So we have a woodworker is making the bottom of a rectangular jewelry box. So let's do a rectangular jewelry box, best possible way. There we go. With an area of 36 square inches. Area equals 36 inches squared. The length of the box is 5 inches more than its width. This is very important. So I'm actually going to start with the width. Width is x, so I'm going to make this x. And then let's write down the length. So if we have the width, it says the length of the box is 5 inches more. So it would be x plus 5 because it's 5 inches more, x plus 5. We need to find both the length and the width of the box. Since they gave us area, I am going to use the area formula. Area equals length times width. So I'm going to write down 36 equals length times width, x times x plus 5. I just flip this around here. It could be width times length. It doesn't matter because it is multiplication. I'm going to distribute this because I'm going to start to solve. So x squared plus 5x. I'm going to bring 36 over to the other side because I want to solve this equation. And when I solve, I see I'm going to have to factor, and this has to be set equal to 0. I'm going to go up here to do some extra work. So now I'm going to factor it. And you can do this because it's equal to 0 here. You can put it on that side. It's absolutely fine. So x times x, what multiplies to negative 36 and adds to 5. And I'm going to get positive 9 and negative 4. Positive 9 times negative 4 gives me a negative 36. Positive 9 plus negative 4 gives me a positive 5. And then I get to separate these. X plus 9 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0, and solving x equals negative 9 and x equals 4. Now, because we're talking about length and width, we cannot have any negative numbers. So this is not going to be an answer because it's negative. And we can't have no negative square inches. So that's not an answer. So our first answer is x equals 4 here. And so which one is x? The width is x. So we know that the width is 4. So this would be 4. And this is going to be 4 plus 5, 9. So this is going to be 9. And to write down width is 4 inches squared. Length is 9 inches squared. And we're good to go. Okay. So if we look, we identified our variables, length and width. We set up our equations. We included units, and we didn't use trial and error. You can clearly see that I used multiplication, factoring, and setting equal to 0. And there we have it. Okay, number 2. Jennifer and Jason are electricians wiring a house. It would take Jennifer 9 hours if she was working alone. It would take Jason 18 hours if he was working alone. How long will it take them working together? So I'm going to set this up as here's Jennifer. We have 2 people, and here's Jason. Okay, so Jennifer and Jason are electricians wiring a house. It takes Jennifer 9 hours, so they're wiring one house. One house is going to take Jennifer 9 hours. Okay, and it would take Jason 18 hours. So one house for Jason is going to take him 18 hours. Now, I'm thinking about it as a fraction because this is a rate. How long it's taking them per house. So I turn it into a rate, a house per hours. And so let's see. How long is that one house going to take them together? So we have x hours. And we see that we have rational equations that we need to solve. So we have 1/9 plus 1/18 equals 1 over x. I'm going to use a least common multiple of 18x. I could divide 18 by 9, 18x by 9. I could divide 18x by 18, and I can divide 18x by x. So all I did was I just took the 18 and I multiplied it by the x. Okay, with my least common multiple, I'm going to multiply everything 18x over 1, 18x over 1, 18x over 1. Okay, and now I can simplify 2. So this comes out to 2x because 18 divided by 9 is 2. I don't have an x here, so I can't cross anything out, so I bring it down. 18 crosses out, so this is plus x equals, x is crosses out, and this is 18. Let me just scoot down here, perfect. And so now that I have the least common multiple, it helped me to cross out my denominators. It helped me to simplify my denominators. And so 2x plus x is 3x equals 18 divided by 3. So x equals 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay, so x hours. So how long would it take them together? Together, it will take them 6 hours. And putting it in a complete sentence guarantees that you're going to write down the units here. I do have labels. I set it up. There is no trial and error here. And I did identify all my variables. Okay, let's see what's next. Number 3. Ooh, a flower garden. A flower garden is in the shape of a right triangle and has a hypotenuse of 15 feet. If one leg of the garden is 9 feet, find the other leg. Okay, a flower garden is in the shape of a right triangle. So let's make that right triangle. Okay, hypotenuse of 15. Now, hypotenuse is the longest side. Hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. So I'm going to write hypotenuse in 15 feet. Okay, one leg. So these are the other legs, leg and leg. One leg of the garden is 9. We need to find the other. So you could do either one that you want here. I'm just going to do this as 9 feet, and we want to know what this side is, which is x. Okay, when I see right triangle, I'm going to think of Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, a and b are the legs. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So that's why it doesn't, either one could have been the 9 because the legs are just on the same side of the equal sign. All right, so let's substitute some things in. So we have 9 squared plus x squared equals 15 squared. And my labels really helped me out because all I had to do was substitute in 81 plus x squared equals 225. Let's subtract 81. X squared equals 144. Square root undoes a square. So x equals 12. And so this is going to be 12 feet. So the other leg is 12 feet. And there you have it. Okay. So you are going to have to know the Pythagorean theorem. So just if you want to refer back to this for a good review, there you have it. All right. Cy owns a bakery that makes apple pies. He records the data about his sales when he changes the price of his apple pies. He is able to modify his weekly profit P as a function of the price he charges for each pie. P of x equals negative 2x squared plus 52x minus 38, where x is the price per pie. Part A, what price should he charge per pie to maximize profit? So let's read through this again. I just want to label the variables here just so that I know what x and y are and what he's doing. So he makes apple pies. He records the data when he changes the price. He is able to modify his weekly profit, P. Okay, so this is weekly profit. So if we were going to put this in an ordered pair, this is weekly profit. So this is our P of x. Okay. And here we have our equation where X is price per pie. Price per pie. And so this is going to be X. So this is X, and that's P of X. All right, price per pie and weekly profit. All right, what price, so what X should he charge per pie to maximize profit? Now, here's the thing. They gave us an equation, and it's quadratic. And when they either ask you to maximize or minimize the profit or minimize anything, what or maximize anything, what you're looking at is the highest point of that graph. So because we maximize, this is the maximum point. And here we have X and P of X. So that's your maximum point. If it was a minimum, just a little side note down here, if they said minimum, it would look like this. So it would have the lowest point. And so whether they're asking for max or min, you are looking to find the vertex. And in order to find the vertex, I'm going to give you could graph this on Desmos and go to the vertex and find out which one these are. If you don't have Desmos, you're going to have to remember this equation. To find the x value, it's going to be negative b over 2a. To find the p of x or y value, we substitute the x in. Substitute x to find y. Okay, so since they want to know what price here, this is what we want to do. All right, now we need our a and our b. So our equation here, this is a quadratic equation. And in a quadratic equation, I'm going to write this over here. It's going to be f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So our a is next to the x squared. So for us, our a is negative 2. Our b is the coefficient of x. Here, our b is 52. We don't need c, so we don't have to use that negative 38 because we just need to put it into this equation. So we're going to do negative 52 divided by 2 times negative 2. And that's how you find your x. And so our x is going to come out to, when we divide this out, 13. And so 13 is the price per pie. Charge 13 per pie to maximize profit. So we just found that x value. We just found this one right here. Okay, next, what is the maximum weekly profit? So again, we're looking for vertex, but it's asking for weekly profit. So now it's asking for that y value. All right, so what do we do to find that weekly profit? We're going to substitute our x to find our y. We have our x right here. So it's going to be, I'm going to write the equation down. So we found what our x is. It's 13. So we're going to input 13 into our x. Whoops, my bad. To find out what our weekly profit is. So we're going to put this whole thing in. What I did is I just entered this whole entire thing into the calculator and I got 300. So when I input a price of 300, I get an output of a weekly profit. If I input a price of $13, let me just repeat that. If I input a price of $13, I get an output of a weekly profit of 300. I'm going to write that in a complete sentence. If he charges 13 per pie, down a little bit, his maximum weekly profit is $300. There we go. And that is your answer. Okay, So you had to know this negative b over 2a, and you had to have to know how to pull out a and b from this equation, and that you are dealing with a quadratic. It's quadratic because that's squared. Up here, that's squared, so the graph is going to look like that for maximum. If they asked for minimum, it's the same equation. It's that equation, even if they ask for minimum. So same equation. You just have to look if it's going to be a max or a min. Okay, and our last one for the day, number 5. After a final exam, Brian and Alex both leave campus at the same time. Brian drives 8 miles per hour faster than Alex. Brian has driven 12 miles and Alex has driven 10 miles. How fast was Brian driving? Whew, okay. First, we have rates. This is rates, so it's going to come out to be fractions because we're dealing with rates. How fast is a rate? And it's an organization, organizing all of your data that you have here to be able to find those rates. So this is how I'm going to show you that I organize it. If you have a different way, it's absolutely fine. This is just the way that I organize it. Other ways work as well. So we have Brian and we have Alex. Okay. They leave campus at the same time. Brian drives 8 miles per hour faster than Alex. Okay, so we're talking about speed and distance. Again, Brian has driven 12 miles, Alex has driven 10. So we got distance and we have speed. Okay. Distance, how far did Brian go? Brian has driven 12 miles. 12. Okay. And what did Alex? Alex has driven 10. That makes sense because Brian's driving fast. Okay, how about speed? All right, so Brian drives 8 miles faster than Alex. So if Alex is X, okay, Brian is X plus 8. There it kind of reminds us of that first one with the box with length and width. So if Alex is X and he's going 8 miles per hour faster, then it's X plus 8. Okay, now let's just set this up. We have rates, so this is a proportion problem, everybody. So 12 over X plus 8, that's Brian, equals, how about Alex? Alex, 10 over X. And we need to solve this. So when we solve, I'm going to cross multiply. 12x equals 10 times x plus 8. And let's solve. 12x equals, distribute 10x plus 80. 80 minus 10x minus 10x. 2x equals 80. X equals 40 miles per hour. Okay, let's go up and figure out who's 40 and who's going 40 and who's going faster. So X is 40, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to go all the way back up here. X is 40. And so this is going to be 40 plus 8, which is 48. So Brian is driving 48 miles per hour and Alex is driving 40 miles per hour. I wonder what the speed limit is, everybody. That would probably be my next question. Okay, and so we organized our data, we defined our variables, we set up a proportion, we solved our proportion, and then we went back to see how fast each person was going, and I just wrote it in complete sentences, and there you have it. This has been Word Problems in Intermediate Algebra. I hope it helped.